to do a video today about demographics. It's something I studied in university and found very fascinating. It's part of sociology, but of course you can't get a job in sociology, so you take those courses in university more out of just interest and fun. And then while doing this, I came across David Foote's book, Boom, Bust, and Echo. And he was the first to really explore this issue in depth, and it was very interesting. If you haven't read that book, you should. It's an excellent book detailing these issues. And then today on YouTube, I saw a video about saying China's population could be cut in half. As well as this, while I was in China, studying for different topics to do in social club, I came across Korea and an article, provocative headline, saying their country could cease to exist. So I was teaching Korean children in China and found this an interesting topic. Of course, my boss thought it was horrible, but I thought it was an interesting topic because less and less women in Korea are wanting to have children. And we explored this issue. We did a little roundtable discussion. There's obvious reasons for it. With the arrival of the iPhone or mobile phones, people are finding more interest in that. And they're becoming more selfish, I guess you could say, more things of interest to themselves other than having children. And on top of this, there was an article today talking about, I think 1/4 of couples are considering, contemplating, or deciding not to have children at all. So this is all showing a trend that people are not having children the way they used to. In the video that I watched, China's fertility rate has gone down from, it was years ago, it was at 6, and now it's hovering just above 1. And then when you add in all this with the COVID and people having trouble finding a partner, and then on top of that with the gender imbalance in China, this is just huge. I can't believe somebody hasn't done a series on this. Polymatter does some good videos, but it doesn't really tackle this per se. And this is a topic that is ripe for someone to do a real in-depth exploration, because it could mean, and I stress could, if nothing changes, which similar to Malthus, talking about when I was growing up about the food could be a problem, and of course it was solved, but this could potentially mean countries like Japan, Korea, and China could have vastly lower populations. So this is something that is well worth someone doing an in-depth series exploring. It's too big for me to take on, but someone who has the resources could do a really interesting study about all this. All these factors are coming together, all pointing in the same direction: less children. And when you add on the floods that China have had, that could mean less food. That could be a real big problem. There's a drought in Australia. There's a drought in North America that's getting very little coverage. If you add in that, it all spells trouble. As I shouldn't say trouble. It all leads to less children being born. This is dramatic and could be a real sea change. Japan, while I was there, it was so interesting to see. Couples there, well, most people aren't even in couples. Men are having a hard time or don't even want to find a girlfriend, but if they do want to, they're having a hard time finding one. Certainly, couples aren't getting married. Japanese women have high standards, and a guy needs to have a great job, earn a lot of money for her to show any interest in him. So this is leading to disparities in couples getting together. So that's a real problem. So this is all very interesting to me, and I find it's all leading one way. There's less couples, less children, and Asian countries could find themselves with very low populations in the future. Okay.